is your land.
Come seek an adventure at the old pirates, eh?
Make the jump to light speed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times on our recent trip to Disneyland for a 5-day trip, during which we stayed at 2 different 2-star hotels near Disneyland on Harbor Boulevard.
First, we stayed 2 nights at the Camelot Inn Suites. This is one of the handful of hotels that are in 1/10 of a mile from the Disneyland Harbor Boulevard gate. It's really quite close. Over the years, we've stayed at all of these hotels, and while there are some minor differences, we found them to all be very similar.
The costs for these hotels have continued to rise, and with demand pricing, they've kind of evened out between themselves too. It used to be the hotels with enormous capacity like Desert Inn Suites and Tropicana when they would have lower prices, but not so much anymore. They all seem to have high prices.
During our trip, staying at the Camelot on a Sunday and Monday cost $330 a night before taxes and fees. Add in 2 nights of parking for $22 a night, and our total was $833.04. This used to be the cost for a whole 5-day stay.
These days, the prices at Camelot don't get much under $259 a night before taxes and fees. But what do you get for your money? You do get a solid hotel room near the park. There may be a half dozen rooms that actually have direct park views with either balconies or windows that look directly out to the park, and many other rooms get a view of the Matterhorn popping out above the skyline. And the fireworks view is really excellent.
Camelot has 4 floors of rooms that are all lightly themed to a castle. There's a printed mural that's behind the TVs in the rooms that has a castle on it, and that's about it. We were not that impressed with the theming. We do, however, think that the first private hotel to offer a truly themed hotel experience on Harbor will clean up.
The rooms were spacious and clean, not incredible, but nice enough for a good sleep after a full rich day in the parks. The bathrooms were nice but small. Camelot has its sink in with the toilet and the shower.
There were typical amenities, a fridge, microwave, and crappy coffee and a coffee maker. The TV was huge, but we found the cable service difficult and slow to navigate. There was also Wi-Fi included.
There are no breakfast options here. They do have a larger than normal gift shop, but instead of having lots of cheaper drinks and snacks, of which it has a limited supply, it mainly had cheaper Disney merch.
The pool and spa are on a platform over the parking lot, which is unique, and they are nice, but on the smaller side, not a lot of capacity. You had elevator and stair options to get around, and the staff was very nice.
The only parking option is valet, and we saw our car moved about 3 times in the 2 days that we were there. The staff was great though, and everything was safe.
Of course, the biggest perk is the closeness to the parks. It only took us 10 minutes to get from inside DCA or Disneyland to inside our hotel room, and we specifically planned this wanting to stay up late in the parks and have a short, safe walk back home.
But then after a couple of days, we moved down to a budget-friendly hotel that we've stayed at many times, the Days Inn on Harbor Boulevard. Whenever we talk about this, we always want to point out that it's different from the Days Inn on Ball Road, which has a much more negative reputation.
We timed our walk to Days Inn. It took 16 minutes to get from the Disneyland gate to the hotel. It crosses over I-5 on a bridge during a walk, so it's likely not a good walk for people with mobility issues, but the Days Inn does have other options.
For one, it has a shuttle. It's a 12-person van that makes over a dozen trips throughout the day, taking a long pause in the afternoon, but it'll get you there before park opening and pick you up right after park closing time. Sometimes not everybody fits in the first trip, but they will loop around again and pick you up if it's full. And it's all included with your room cost, even though tips are strongly encouraged for the driver, and we encourage that as well.
In practice, when we stay here, we end up using a combination of the shuttle, ride-sharing services, and walking, doing whatever supports our mood and schedule in the moment. The cost of a Lyft or Uber ride one way is about $6 or $7 plus tip, so taking that cost on a couple times a day makes sense with the cheaper room rate. It's a 2-minute ride.
All in all, we found that getting back and forth from the parks to the Days Inn was not much more of a struggle, and it only took a few minutes longer. When we timed the shuttle or a ride share right, it could take just a few minutes. And with significantly lower costs, we felt better about any added stress.
Let's talk cost. For our stay, rooms on weekdays came in at $107 a night before taxes and fees. We stayed 3 nights, 1 more than at Camelot, and after taxes and fees, some of which were from the third-party site we booked it through, the Days Inn total came to $385.
This includes parking, which as it's a smaller two-story place usually means you can park within a few feet of your room. It's kind of like a motor court. When driving, that's a big perk, and having easy access to your car throughout your stay is also very nice. It's really easy to come and go from the Days Inn to other places than Disneyland.
It also includes a light breakfast. Continental options like yogurt, cereals, toast, and some pretty darn good coffee are served in a breakfast room. There's no full shop, but they do have some snacks and essentials for sale in the lobby.
The pool is kind of Mickey-shaped, and it's beautifully heated in the winter, way warmer and slightly bigger than the Camelot's pool, and there was a similarly sized spa at both places. We've grown fond of the Days Inn pool. It's a fun hang.
The fireworks are loud when they go off here. Some of them seem like they're right over your head, but it is a great view for sure. We also want to note it's right next door to a Shakey's Pizza, Taco Bell, and gas station with a nice mini mart.
The room seems right on par with all of the closer hotels. They were clean, spacious, and had similar amenities to the Camelot. The TVs are a little bit smaller, but we like the simpler cable service much better. Wi-Fi is also included here.
The bathroom was clean, but on the small side. We did like that the sink was separate from the shower and toilet.
So overall, here in our tale of 2 Disneyland hotel rooms, we enjoyed our time at each equally during our visit. The experiences were fairly similar in staff experience, comfort, amenities, pretty much every category we can think of. The Camelot is just closer.
The Days Inn requires slightly more effort to get back and forth from, but in retrospect, it seems worth that trouble to us. Had we stayed at Camelot the whole time, the $2,000 bill at the end would have been a bitter pill to swallow. That makes the Days Inn the winner in our book.
And as Amy always says, Disneyland is a far, far better thing to do than we have ever done. It is a far, far better rest that we need at the end of the day.
I have never said that, TC. And with that, that's it for us today. May the light in the firehouse window always shine brightly.
And may your dreams always come true. See you in the parks.